This is the ROG Xbox Ally X, and this is Xbox's first handheld. But what it actually is just a better ROG Ally X with some Xbox branding slapped on. And yes, even though this isn't exactly what I expected from it, it is actually a really good device. So let's chat about it. So first off, on the design of the Xbox Ally X, they have made some changes and some massive improvements, especially with the addition of the more comfortable handles. And when I say more comfortable, I actually mean it. This is the most comfortable ROG Ally that I've used to date, and I own the ROG Ally. I have tested the ROG Ally X, so yes, I know exactly how an Ally feels in hand, but with this one, it just feels a whole lot better. It also has more of an angle compared to the original Allies, which also helps a bit. And honestly, from using this one for over a week, it really doesn't get any better with this in terms of Ally comfortability. Now they've also slapped on a ton of Xbox branding from the small icons on the front face, similar to the ROG grip at the back. And they've now also added a dedicated Xbox button on the front as well that opens the Xbox game bar, which is a quick access overlay for essential tools and settings. And with this, of course, you have the ability to switch between apps, capture screenshots or videos, check system performance, and even access your friends list. And a long press of the Xbox button will now open the app switcher for navigating between all of your open applications. And apart from that, they have also changed how you find all of your games, and instead of using Armory Crate as your default home app, they've now made it the Xbox Windows app, which does of course look cleaner. It helps you once again with the Xbox branding for the entire handheld, but it is basically where the Xbox side of things end, but more on that in the conclusion. Now, to add a little more context, the Windows Fullscreen Experience is probably one of the best updates to the Xbox Ally X, as it allows the Ally to boot directly into that without loading all of the unnecessary Windows background tasks, saving up to 2 GB of RAM, which actually makes a massive difference on the Ally. This is also the interface where you launch apps so you can play your games from there, but overall it isn't really a console-like experience with quick resume, and if you launch Steam games, for example, it will load Steam before that, but it is really cool. Then in terms of hardware, the Xbox Ally X does come equipped with a 7-inch Full HD display that looks amazing as always, and of course has touch capabilities as well. It has the AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme chip that powers everything, and 24 GB of DDR5X RAM to really ensure that this device can handle anything that you throw at it, whether that is modern AAA titles or just casual indie games or emulation. It also has a 1TB SSD, meaning most of you should be fine with storage and you should be able to install at least a few games on here, and an 80 Wh battery, which is the same as the Ally X and still double that of the original Ally. You can expect battery life somewhere between those, which is anywhere from 2 to 5 hours depending on the games that you play and what you actually use the device for. Now for me, half the appeal of a device like the ROG Xbox Ally X is playing more chill games or story-based games like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, which are of course childhood favorites of mine that I like to play every now and then playing them on a handheld for me just feels better. But then the Xbox Ally X also has enough power to play newer games like Spider-Man 2, which it ran like a charm, plus a few other games like Black Myth Wukong, Borderlands 4, and honestly, any game that I tested on this device just ran buttery smooth. Now, if you're someone that wants to play more competitive games, you can play games like Call of Duty as well, and it actually runs really well on the Xbox Ally X once again. I did do a few runs of zombie mode and multiplayer, which ran really smoothly with the odd hiccup here and there, but for the most part, it felt really responsive and it ran the game really well. Now, this is of course a form factor that we already used to. We have seen the ROG Ally, we've seen the Ally X, and honestly, this is just a better version of all of those. So for me, everything you can do on those, you can do on this, but of course, this one just does it way better. But after using the ROG Ally X for a little over a week, I've had some time to reflect on it, So here are my thoughts. And I think my biggest problem with the ROG Xbox Ally X is the fact that there is nothing inherently that makes it something Xbox. Game Pass is still just PC Game Pass, so no Xbox Game Pass. And even though everything about the Xbox Ally X screams Xbox, from the dedicated Xbox logo to Armory Crate being replaced with the Xbox Game Pass launcher to the colors and even the name, at the heart of it all, it's still just an ROG Ally. And yes, I know you do have Xbox Remote Play, but that doesn't really make this an Xbox, as you would still need an Xbox. Plus, you can't even play all of your Xbox games on this, so I think it's safe to say that my take is somewhat safe. It still runs Windows, which means you are still able to take your Xbox Ally X and play your favorite Steam, Epic, or even Battle.net games. And if you are someone like me, you can still run emulators on it as well and play all of your favorite games growing up. And that, for me at least, is half the appeal of a device like the ROG Ally, and that is why I still actually love this device down to its core. But I can't help but think that people might get the idea that this is an Xbox handheld and expect there to be Xbox Game Pass at minimum, or that this device will allow them to play their Xbox games, which it won't, which I would have loved them to add. I mean, there has to be a way to register these as a compatible device for Xbox Game Pass, right? So once you actually buy an ROG Xbox Ally X, if you get Game Pass, you get Xbox Game Pass. So for me at least, I feel like this could be confusing for some, but if you buy it, guaranteed you won't be disappointed, as this is an amazing device. If you, of course, like Windows handhelds, as this is one of the best on the market right now. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the Xbox Ally X? Now, I of course love the idea or the rumors behind that this could be the next iteration of what Xbox could be. And, you know, we'll have Asus Xbox Ally X's or Xboxes, you know, Asus Xboxes that will just run Xbox games, and you'll have different tiers like the Ally and the Ally X. So for me, at least, as a beta to what the Xbox could be and as a beta to what this could eventually sort of turn into, this is still a really great device. Like I said, if you like Windows handhelds, this is an amazing one. If you want to buy it for the ease of use into the sort of Xbox Game Pass platform, it's also a really great choice. But let me know down below, what do you think? I think I would have just loved it to have Xbox Game Pass and not just PC Game Pass, but that has to be sort of one of my biggest flaws with this device. Other than that, it runs well, it feels comfortable, and it is really one of the best allies they have put out to date, so can't really flaw any of this device at all. But then, until next time, cheers.